Breast cancer has become a disease that affects many women and men in the United States. More so, it affects women, especially women that are of the minority in our country. Because breast cancer has affected so many women and men across the board, we see a heighten in the activism for many people trying to find research in order to find a cure for the disease at hand. With that being said, breast cancer has its own month. Breast Cancer Awareness Month normally happens in the month of October, and that is where you see an increase in activism amongst different organizations and groups. I myself have participated in several organizations and groups that help bring awareness to breast cancer. One of the groups that I have participated in is the KYAL Breast Cancer Fund. By working at NC State, that is one of the main fundraising events that we have for breast cancer awareness, being that KYAL is an alum of NC State and she was the head women's basketball coach. Whether you were diagnosed with it or not, many people are affected by it, and it is a deadly disease that sometimes some people may not even survive from it. Along with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you see several companies supporting breast cancer awareness by contributing advertising and having organizations or people that come into their stores to buy certain items, and then the items that they buy or the money that they receive from the items that they have purchased, a proceed of that money will go to a lot of the cancer research that is happening, depending on what organization, such as the Susan G. Komen or the KYAL Cancer Research Fund. In this article, Resisting National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Rhetoric of Counterpublics in Their Cultural Performances, it is a discussion about how there are several companies that participate in wanting to bring awareness to breast cancer, but also play a part in the epidemic that is happening today. The author Phaedra Pazulo is writing an essay in here about how the greenwashing of these organizations have contributed to the detriment of breast cancer and what the actual month is really for. And she goes in to explain the reason for and how Breast Cancer Awareness Month got started and the companies that have contributed to it and the end result when she has participated in certain tours in order to figure out, well, what is the issue and how can we move on from it. In order to Pizzula to portray her message in the essay, she starts off with talking about public spheres. Public spheres can be defined as a private people that come together as a public to engage in a debate over general rules governing relations in the basically privatized but publicly relevant sphere of commodity exchange and social labor. The reason why public sphere scholars and this definition is so important is because these scholars conduct participation observations that affirm the importance of cultural performances unrecognized by mainstream culture, and in the process of interpretation offer a record for them. The reason why this definition is so important is because with Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the Toxic Links Coalition, they both coincide to where it determines the reason behind the TLC tours and what the TLC means to National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and how it coincides as to determining what organizations really are promoting the health for women versus promoting it but also being a problem with it as well. To understand the Toxic Links Coalition, aka TLC, we must understand how Breast Cancer Awareness Month was formed in order for the TLC to be formed. National Breast Cancer Awareness Month was formed in 1984 by Zeneca. Zeneca is an international pharmaceutical company that has emerged and emerged since 1912 with such chemical corporations such as DuPont, Imperial Chemical Industries Limited, Merck, and Astra. Now called AstraZeneca, it is one of the world's top 3 pharmaceuticals companies. Zeneca began performing in-house breast cancer screenings in 1989, and in 1996, the company analyzed the total direct healthcare and lost productivity costs of screening referrals and initial management, and the total cost of implementing the in-house screenings were $400,000, Without the program, total direct costs would have been almost 1.5 million if the cancers were discovered at later, more advanced stage. AstraZeneca was initially based on the critique of how women's health care has been assessed or implemented, nor did they have the desire to prevent women from developing breast cancer. It was just basically cost effective for a company to detect cancer in its employees during the disease's early stages. With the TLC coming in, their primary effort has been to reclaim the breast cancer debate from corporations such as AstraZeneca. Really, in other words, they're basically saying that AstraZeneca hold profits by first producing the toxins that implicated in the breast cancer epidemic and then selling the drugs used to treat the disease. With AstraZeneca being one of the top 3 companies with the world's best-selling cancer drug, it does an annual of $300 million in business, and the corporation is a large producer of pesticides in the U.S. Another reason why TLC has become important is because they secondly want to shift public discourse about breast cancer from promoting mammograms to what is causing breast cancer or to the environmental causes of cancer. With the TLC having these goals as a part of their programs, they have created an annual program called the Stop Cancer Where It Starts Tours. And these are 1-hour walking tours protesting the institutions that have contributed to environmentally caused cancers by producing dangerous chemicals or by covering up hazardous chemical exposures to the public. As someone who has not only been affected by breast cancer more than once with family members, even though I have never been diagnosed, this organization with TLC, it goes a long way because it not only just deals with, for me, the reasons behind why cancer exists. It not only deals with breast cancer, but other cancers as well, such as lung cancer. My grandfather currently has stage 3 lung cancer, and it's one of those things where you want to find out what is really causing this disease in this many people's lives, whether it is breast or whether it is lung or whether it is throat. You want to know what is causing it, what environmental issues is causing this, and for companies such as AstraZeneca to be one of the companies that sell the biggest cancer drug that is to help to relieve cancer, but also they have a hand in producing certain things that causes cancer. It's kind of alarming to me that we're living in an industry or a time where different industries such as this pharmaceutical company can get away with it, and it's not fair to those who have to suffer as well as go through all the chemo and the radiation and possible surgeries, and to prevent it from coming back or prevent it from spreading based on the chemicals and the drugs that are being used. The Stop Cancer Before It Starts tours, like I stated, are 1-hour walking tours, and the tours range from approximately 100 to 400 people. And they have different people from different backgrounds, mainly African Americans and Asian American activists, including men and women. With the tours being 1 hour, they typically have the tours on a working day so that people can give up their lunch hour to participate, and they can reach a broad range of people and to get people involved and aware and to increase awareness about the Stop Cancer Before It Starts tour. The Stop Cancer Before It Starts tours have 5 stars during their tours, and the TLC goes to each of these stops, and the stops include the Pacific Gas and Electric, which they are accused of running a polluting power plant in Hunters Point and refusing to clean up the toxins or compensate for residents' health problems at Daly City's Midway Village. The other one is at Bechtel for engineering and building nuclear power plants and raising the price of water in San Francisco. Chevron, which is for operating an oil refinery in Richmond, California, that pollutes local communities with toxins in their international environmentally racist practices. And the American Cancer Society for downplaying environmental causes of cancer and not taking a stance on any environmental legislations. And Solomon Associates for providing public relations services to the affirmative businesses. And with these stops, they include different speakers in different age groups, different ethnic backgrounds, and they discuss about why they're here, what they're promoting for, and why this is an important movement to them. The Author of Pazuzu participated in each of the 5 stops with the TLC. And during one of her stops, she saw a lady by the name of Ravenlight. Ravenlight is a woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer and ended up having to have her breast removed. Ravenlight participates in each of the cancer stop tours, and she walks through the tours with a bare shirt, showing off her scar and one breast, and she's holding up a sign and promoting this tour. For me, Ravenlight is so important through this movement simply because she really shows what women go through. She's showing you that, yeah, I might have had cancer, yeah, my breast might have to be removed, but the fight is still not over. And what she's fighting for is what TLC is fighting for, is what people that are activists for National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're all fighting for the same thing. They're fighting for a cure. They're also fighting against the people who promote the cure, or quote unquote the cure that they're trying to promote, but yet they're also the same people that are promoting the toxins that comes along with it, which isn't fair to people like Raven. And the author makes a pretty good point when she says we need to promote why our bodies are the way they are. Why is breast cancer in our bodies? What are the alternative possibilities about women, cancer, and progress? And that is what Ravenlight's body, and that is what the author says Ravenlight's body speak of. It speaks about the progress and where we can go from here with breast cancer. With the author's participation in this movement and in this tour, she gets to see the reality of people, and she gets to see the emotions felt in it, and she's still trying to figure out what are different ways that we can move forward. And I think by her participating in this particular movement, it makes it so much more special, because she's giving us a view of what it's like being out there and what we're trying to convey, or what the people that are a part of the movement are trying to convey. And she's doing that in her essay, which is so profound. People just like Raven, who may experience breast cancer or who may experience some other type of cancer, they're the ones that are out here on the front line trying to let people know about the awareness of the disease that they have been diagnosed with. And this essay speaks so profoundly about that, and the struggles that everyone has faced, not only women but also men. Although breast cancer is a disease, it is also a social movement. Breast cancer is considered a social movement because it's not only bringing one group of individuals together, but it's bringing several groups of individuals together. People that are with breast cancer, people without breast cancer, people with other types of cancers, and people that have never been diagnosed with cancers at all. This type of social movement is very progressive, especially because, one, it has its own month. 2, is recognized nationally through different funds and through different programs, such as the Susan G. Komen Relay for Life and the K-Yow program. TLC is not only a social movement as well. They're considered the agitators in this social movement. By TLC being the agitators, they're trying to make everyone aware about the controllers, such as AstraZeneca, about how they're in control of this industry, and how they're one of the top companies in the pharmaceutical industry that has control over breast cancer. Maybe not just breast cancer, but other cancers as well, being that they provide one of the top drugs for the breast cancer disease. Because TLC has provided a cultural performance as well as social movement in which they have been very progressive with getting people involved and coming to their tours, they can make a big difference in this industry as to make people aware about what is going on and how these companies are affecting people that are diagnosed with this deadly disease. I definitely appreciate the author going into the field and participating in the tour, because we get to see what this organization is really trying to do and what they're really trying to make us aware. Yes, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month is very important, but also the behind the scenes is just as important, because they make us aware about what's going on. That is what these social movements are all about, making the people around them aware of what is happening, especially to those that it's really happening to. Once we can finally answer these questions as to why the disease is in our bodies or what environmental issues is really causing, then we can move forward and we can progress, and we can maybe prevent breast cancer from happening in the future. Maybe we can find an actual cure and not have these companies produce products that create the disease even worse, and then try to set and then make money off of trying to create the cure.